Hi, welcome to Road Bike Culture. I'm your host, Kevin Isley. Today I'm taking you from South Lake Tahoe up and over and down into Carson City, Nevada, over to Genoa, Nevada, and up Kingsbury Grade. Stay tuned, this is an epic ride. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you that when I went on this ride, I was at elevation and my camera had a little condensation on the lens. So you're gonna see a little blurring throughout the video. I apologize for this. South Lake Tahoe sits at 6,000 feet and it is a beautiful destination in and of itself. But when we went there for the 4th of July weekend, my wife agreed to let me go for a bike ride. So I chose this ride. Starting in South Lake Tahoe, it is a 12-mile ride to the summit of Spooner Pass. This is an interesting 12 miles because it's a 2-lane highway that has no shoulder. It's a little bit scary, a little bit hair-raising. I left at 6:15 in the morning and I still got passed by semi-trucks going really fast. On the route to Spooner Summit, you're gonna go through a short but narrow tunnel, and this is a little bit scary. It can be a nerve-wracking experience in that tunnel, so be careful if you do this ride. After the tunnel, you're gonna go up a little bit of an ascent to Spooner Summit, and Spooner Summit sits at 7,100 feet. This is a beautiful view of the lake and of the valley down below. After the summit, you're gonna have a 7.4 mile descent of a -5%. This is going to allow you to maintain a pretty good speed of between 40 and 45 miles an hour, which you are going to need. The scariest part of this descent is that you have to ride in the slow lane. Yes, there is a shoulder there, but the shoulder has draining grates, and those draining grates are really big. If you hit that at 45 miles an hour, you're going to go down. But this descent offers magnificent views of the valley below, and it is really worth the sort of scary part of this ride. Once you get down to the bottom, you're going to turn left and head into Carson City, Nevada, the capital of the great state of Nevada. And if you follow my GPX, you are going to see that I rode around a little bit in Carson City, just sort of being a tourist. It was nice. I saw the state legislature house, I saw the capitol, I saw where the governor lives. It was fun to go there and experience that. After that little bit of government tourism, I went over to Kama Cafe. This place is an amazing coffee shop. They have great coffee, but what makes it really special is they make their own pastries and sandwiches in-house. I chose the house-made cinnamon roll with homemade frosting, and it was really good. It gave me the energy I needed for the next part of my ride. Once you leave Carson City, you will go down Curry Road until you intersect with Interstate 395 at Highway 50, which is where you just descended. After that, you got about 5 miles on Interstate 395, which is a little bit crazy, and there are some fast cars, but it's super wide, so you don't have to worry about it too much, and the shoulder feels very safe, but the cars are going fast. Then you get to Jax Valley Road, you make a right, and then it's beautiful riding from here. You're gonna have a little bit of a climb right there, and that's gonna take you through a couple of houses, but once you crest a climb, there's really no more houses, and you do a really wonderful descent down into Jax Valley, and this place is epic. It is a valley that sits at the base of the Sierra Nevadas, and nothing makes you feel small like the gigantic, majestic mountains that are the Sierras. In Jax Valley, this is the Wild West. This is a dead rattlesnake. Yeah, that's a rattlesnake. I got a little bit close, but not too close because they do scare the crap out of me. As you're pedaling through Jax Valley, just looking at the awe-inspiring Sierras, you will end up on a town called Genoa. Genoa, Nevada is a historic town, and this is where you're going to get your history lesson. The state of Nevada at one point was a part of Mexico, but it was annexed by the United States after the 1850 war with Mexico, and it was given to the territory of Utah. Then in 1851, Genoa, Nevada was established by Mormon traders on what was called the Emigrant Trail. They came here to establish a trading route between Salt Lake and California. In 1855, Orson Hyde came here to survey the land so Salt Lake could turn it into an actual town. Orson Hyde was a huge fan of Christopher Columbus, so he decided to name the town Genoa after the birthplace of Christopher Columbus. In 1853, the Genoa Bar was erected, and today it is billed as Nevada's first drinking establishment. It is a really cool bar. It is stepping back in time. It is the Old West. It is a part of the Pony Express Trail. So if you do this ride, you have to come into this bar. When I came in, I really wanted to get a beer, but I knew I had Kingsbury Grade in the future, so I wasn't gonna get a beer. I got a Coke, but I sat at the bar and it was a really fun experience to just step back in time. In 1859, the Comstock Lode happened, and that was in Virginia City, Nevada, and the population of the area exploded. From 1860 to 1861, Genoa became a stop on the Pony Express Trail. Also in 1861, Genoa became the capital of the Nevada Territory. It was in this time that the first newspaper was established called the Territorial Enterprise, and Mark Twain came to Genoa, Nevada to hang out for a while to work for the Territorial Enterprise, which then moved to Virginia City, and so did Mark Twain. Because of the population boom from the Comstock Lode, on October 31st, 1864, the Nevada Territory became the state of Nevada, and Genoa was the capital of that state for 1 year until they moved it to Carson City. So after my Coke at the Genoa bar, I got back on my bike. When I got to the intersection of Kingsbury Grade and Jax Valley Road, it was 48 miles and 92 degrees. Kingsbury Grade is 7.9 miles with an average gradient of 6%, and you climb 2,955 feet to the summit. It took me an hour and a half to climb those 7.9 miles. Granted, I did stop a lot to take video and pictures for this video, and I hope you appreciate that, and that's why it is a little bit slower. Had I not been shooting a video, I could have climbed this in 1 hour. The KOM was set in 2018 on the Tour of California Stage 6. Egon Bernal did it in 30 minutes with an average speed of 15.7 miles an hour. If that sounds crazy, they started in Folsom. This was a 120-mile bike ride, and they finished this ride at the summit at Heavenly Valley. So this came in at like mile 114, I think. In fact, the top 3 KOMs on Strava belong to the 2018 Stage 6 of the Tour of California. So back to my adventures on this climb. There was a lot of construction, which actually helped me out quite a bit because it stopped traffic and they let me go through. And then I caught up to traffic, and on the last one, probably near the summit, but at the time I didn't know that, there was a whole group of cars waiting for me because they were blocking almost the whole road. And I saw this, and I saw the guy with the sign, and I saw him talking on the radio, and I get out of my saddle, and I start hammering it up the hill, and all the people in the car start applauding me and give me a whoa, whoa, whoa. I just gotta say, the people in Nevada are extremely friendly to cyclists, and I had no problems on this ride. But as I said, this is a long, long, long climb. So I get to this spot and I'm like, I just gotta stop for a minute. I gotta eat a goo. I gotta stop. And I did, and it was a nice little place to stop. It was a big pull out from the highway. I took this video right here, which looks kind of cool, I got to admit. So after that really cool stop, I continue on my bike. I go around this blind corner, and there's the summit, Daggett Summit, 7,300 feet. But I had such a good rest, I'm like, I'm not ready to go down the hill yet. I noticed that there's a left-hand turn, and that takes you straight up to Heavenly Valley. If you decide to take this extra little bit, there is a store right after you turn. I recommend stopping there. I got a Coke and some potato chips and some Gatorade. I continued climbing. There's a little bit of up, there's a lot of down, and then there's a massive up. If you're following my GPX, you're gonna see this. It was 12% for about a mile, and it's really good. It takes you up to 7,700 feet, which makes this ride even better. You turn around, you go down the hill, you get back to the summit, and then you descend back down to South Lake Tahoe. South Lake Tahoe is an amazing place to start a bike ride. You have casinos, you have all kinds of good amenities, really good restaurants to go to after your ride, and some pretty good breweries. I got an excellent beer after this. Kingsbury Grade is such a great climb that the Tour of California chose it as a mountaintop finish, and you can do that too. I highly recommend it. Come out west and do this ride. Well, I think that just about covers it. My ride from South Lake Tahoe to the historic Genoa, Nevada, up Kingsbury Grade. This was epic, epic riding. New roads are the best roads. If you like this episode, give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'm on YouTube, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm everywhere, people. And until the next time, I hope to see you out there on the road.